Hi everyone, I'm Ken from Crypto Trading KS. If you're new, welcome, and welcome back to our regular community. My goal is to share my decades of trading experience to assist you to be more of a financial blessing to yourself and those you love, and also gain real wealth in the process. Let's run the numbers. Bitcoin currently trading at 44,847, down 0.77%. Ethereum 3246, up 0.11%. I've hidden knowledge gems throughout this video. Unless you watch to the end, you'll miss them. See how many you can find. Rule 174, T-Cube, trend timing and trigger. We're going to look at trend and timing today. The first thing we do is look at the live trend direction through real wealth analysis. Our community is focused on more than money. We're also focused on what makes life truly worth living, having inner and outer peace, happiness, confidence, fulfillment, purpose, fearlessness. These are all the fantastic qualities that we as a community are focused on, as well as being more of a financial blessing to ourselves and those we love. Over more than 30 years of experience in trading, I've created literally thousands of rules. These rules have various focuses on them. Some are psychological, some set the foundations of the way to think about the market, and others are more technical. Rule 969, be loving and kind towards yourself. At first glance, you can look at this rule and say, Ken, why do you have a rule like this for? It's a really important rule. As a society, we're taught to be loving and kind towards other people, yet we're taught to criticize ourselves when we make any kind of mistake. Unfortunately, in trading and investing, you'll do nothing but make mistakes. That's just part of the learning process. It's really important to use Rule 969, be loving and kind towards yourself. Buddha said, you yourself, as much as anyone in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. How true it is. It's really vital that you care for yourself, that you forgive yourself if you make a mistake. Mistakes are just part of life's process. Mistakes are not really mistakes at all. They're just learning opportunities. KS zone analysis are the 4 stages that all investors and traders progress through to become consistently profitable and attain real wealth. Zone 1 is the fear zone. Zone 2 is the blame zone. Zone 3, patience and rule zone. Zone 4, the meaning zone. We apply Rule 969, be loving and kind towards yourself, to move between the blame zone and the patience and rule zone. Zone 2 is all about a mistake that's taken very personally. Zone 3 is about probabilistic fearlessness. It's about the understanding that mistakes happen, losses are incurred. That's all about the tuition fees that the market gets everybody to pay. Being kind and loving towards yourself allows you to move from Zone 2 into Zone 3. Instead of mistakes being viewed as negatives, they're just viewed as learning opportunities. Robert Louis Stevenson said, don't judge each day by the harvest you reap, but by the plants, the seeds that you plant. Planting seeds is all about trading and investing. From day to day, you may not see profits that you wish. The markets are very volatile, but over time, you get the harvest. You've just got to stay with it and improve your learning each day, always being kind and loving to yourself when you're learning. Self-kindness is the doorway to real wealth. Focusing on more than money, focusing on all the good things like a lack of conflict, especially internal conflict. Having inner peace and outer peace is really good for your health. Self-kindness is realistically the doorway to real wealth. You can have financial wealth and you can have real wealth. You can literally have it all. I'd like to thank the very generous community members who have reached out and bought me a coffee on buymeacoffee.com/cryptotradingks. Thank you so much for your kindness, everyone. The next thing we do is look at crypto newbie news sentiment. That's basically trying to determine how crypto newbies would look at news stories. Would they buy? Would they sell? Let's have a look at the news headlines. Bitcoin falls to 45,534 as cryptos remain bearish. Ooh, that's not very good. That's like a bit of a sell. Ooh, look at this. Bitcoin could go up significantly, says CIO of BlackRock. Ooh, that's very good. That's very positive. Oh, okay, I'm going to buy now. Hoskinson wants a Cardano nation. Why not? That's very interesting. He wants his own country? Ideal store of value. And what the Bitcoin standard fixes. Oh, it fixes something. Oh, look at this little gold bars there. El Salvador's Bitcoin binge. Oh, El Salvador is getting fat on Bitcoin. What is this about? Making the crypto legal tender grabbed attention. But for developing countries, digital money may make sense. This is a buy. Buy, buy, buy. Buy for now. El Salvador foreign investors exempt from tax on Bitcoin profits. Oh, it's time to pack the bags, people. Cardano cryptocurrency drops by 4%, but Charles wants a nation. What's it going to do? Oh, look at that. It's an old house. Why they got an old house there? Grayscale CEO, developing countries turn to Bitcoin. Grayscale CEO? This is really interesting stuff, isn't it? Before we looked at El Salvador, the IMF was very unhappy about El Salvador. And now we're seeing the Grayscale CEO saying, well, this is a really good thing. Okay, what's here? Ooh, trading Bitcoin is comparable to trading stamps? Collapse? This guy, what's he doing with his fingers? He's squishing something. Oh, Sweden's central bank governor. My ancestors are from Sweden. What's happening here? Oh, I'm so sad. Bitcoin weekly chart is very bearish. Ooh. We can see some positive and negative news stories, definitely, but Grayscale CEO hopping in saying developing countries, El Salvador, making foreign investors, not local investors, foreign investors, exempt from tax on Bitcoin profits. Very, very clever stuff. Okay, we can see it's pretty neutral, but it's a little bit slanted towards the positive side. Let's turn now to investment substitutability. We can see the proxy for stocks, S&P 500, up 32% over the past 12 months, gold down 8%, and Bitcoin up 331%. With such high percentages here, a lot of people will be interested in entering the crypto space. Let's now look across the total crypto market. Over the past 14 days, Algo has increased by 94.25%, followed by Sol up 86.17%, then FTT up 47%, Atom 27%, DOT 22.64%, Luna up 13%, followed by AVAX, Filecoin, XTZ, TRX, Link, ETH, Litecoin, GRT, XRP, VET, Axie Infinity, and then finally Bitcoin. Bitcoin is down 7% for the past 14 days. We use the Bitcoin stablecoin supply ratio SSR oscillator to see how funds flowing into stablecoins are being deployed into Bitcoin or not. We can see that they're being deployed into Bitcoin at a decreasing rate. When the rate increases, such as here, we see positive price movement. We're looking for this blue line to tick up again. It's kind of flattening out at the moment. Prices also tend to move in line with total open interest across all exchanges. We can see that there was a dramatic closing of open interest and prices came down, we can see now the price is basically trending down, as is open interest. Currently in the market, there's about 14.16 billion in open interest. Turning to total crypto market cap, total crypto market cap is currently $2.058 trillion. We can see the total crypto market is retracing in terms of price. It got above this resistance, but it's now coming back and testing this very loose support. It could be tighter if we pushed it up, but we're just trying to test the relative strength of particular movements. For example, if I take this particular line and I just make it tighter, we can see that the total crypto market is currently trading underneath that resistance. We can also see the relative strength is just wavering around a little bit. The thing to keep in mind on the weekends is that that could be very, very choppy price action. There are currently 11,814 cryptos all being represented through this one chart. Over the past 24 hours, there's been 155.45 million in total liquidations across 50,424 traders. Over the past 12 hours, 78% of liquidations were long, and we can see this very large $3.22 billion worth of liquidations for longs occurring several days ago. Checking the top performing cryptos, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, Tether, Binance Coin, Solana, XRP, DOGE, Polkadot. The greatest gainers over the past 24 hours, Kusama, AVAX, DOT, ONE, KCS, OMG, ADA, HBAR. The greatest 7-day percent gainers, Algo, Quant, Nia, Phantom, Harmony One, Elron, EGLD, Mina, OMG, Luna, and Sol. The greatest losses over the past 24 hours, Atom, XTZ, XEC, Luna, IOST, Nia, Cello, Arweave, Icon, and Mina. The greatest percent losses over the past 7 days, XEC, Rev, ICP, Tel, Dash, Chiliz, Ravencoin, MATIC, Zen, and IOTA. Turning to Binance derivatives, we can see 24-hour trading volume being quite low comparative to other previous sessions, coming in at 54.3 billion. Total 24-hour open interest, 9.1 billion. We can see the change in the price of the contract for the past 24 hours. For Bitcoin, negative 1.3%, around the same as Ethereum, which is negative 1.2%. Turning towards the greatest gainers, we can see Seller, ATA, registering over 10%, but there's not many. We can see a lot of very low performance. This generally indicates we may be coming up to some form of short-term or long-term bottom, but we have to keep our eye on it. Of course, it's the weekend, so anything literally goes. When the markets open and the main trading starts, that's more significant price behavior. Looking the other way, the greatest percent losses, Atom, XTZ, and IOST, very little above, in excess of negative 10%. Let's turn now to an analysis of Bitcoin. Looking at Bitcoin's technical analysis, Bitcoin is currently trading at 44,845. We see it below this resistance level. We wanted price to get up to 45,830 to start the repair. Even better would be 46,566. We can see price is still below this resistance and moving down. We'll keep our eye on it because it is the weekend and fairly thin trading volumes exist on the weekend. Looking at support below, we have 44,602, 43,853, 43,249, 42,803. Sometimes what you get when I look at this particular chart, this spike, often price will seek to try to get towards the tip of that spike if it doesn't repair well, like it's pushing this kind of influence, downward price influence. We need to watch the very key level around 42,803 and see if it bounces from there. Turning to fear and greed and psychological safety, there's fear in the market. It was 31 yesterday, it's now 32, so a little bit of fear is decreasing. We can see the relative strength just ticking up just slightly. Bitcoin's price is currently below the 200-day moving average and slightly below the 50-day, quite considerably above the 100-day. It's really important to understand that price could come all the way down to $35,000 and still have a bullish structure. I know a lot of commentators have been saying the bull market run is over, but that's just simply not the case. We've seen this particular price action in the past. I did warn for many weeks that it was possible to happen as well. It's just playing out. The expectation for this month was prices to go up. It's a little bit unexpected that we had this rather large sell-off. There's potentially a few reasons for that. I believe it was a warning sent through the markets to actually discourage companies, countries, private firms to invest in Bitcoin, because simply Bitcoin is getting too big. It's too much of a threat to the established system. We'll see how it all plays out, but it was just very much like the internet that I was involved with in 1993. These same kind of warning shots were fired all over the place. The most important thing is to understand the internet is here. It's absolutely part of everyday life. It created so many new jobs, but the government was hell-bent on stopping the internet any way it could. But it didn't work because the internet created faster and cheaper processes. It's exactly the same with digital assets. They're upgrading the internet to the next internet of value. If we zoom out and look at a long view model, we can see the estimated price of Bitcoin in 2026 is probably around the $1 million, 10 million per Bitcoin in 2030. In a previous episode, I went through stocks and bonds. What's really interesting is to understand how big the stock market is globally and how big the bond market is globally. This is from around November 2020. We of course know that they're much larger now, but this just serves as an illustration. We have $2 trillion worth of crypto. Can you imagine if 10% of the money from the stock market made its way into crypto and 10% of the bond market made its way into crypto? It would absolutely support the prices that are being estimated. It's also often helpful to zoom out. If we look at these yearly candles for Bitcoin's price action, we're currently at the start of the bull market phase. We've had a bit of a retracement, but there's considerable room to go in this current market. Don't forget, Bitcoin and cryptos are exponential, they're not linear. Of course, we also know that crypto is incredibly volatile. What the stock market treats as an absolute disaster, we treat as every other day or every other week in crypto. Turning to the KS model, which is a crypto technical trading model based on institutional price psychology, we can see the current price action falls within the bull market psychology phase. To understand how bull markets work, we go back to the previous bull market of the 2016 cycle. We can see the rocket taking off rocket, refueling in midair, which causes us to drop down and rocketing up again, refueling in midair, rocketing up again, refueling, and rocket all the way to the moon. When people talk about hitting to the moon or to the moon, melt your face off rallies, they're talking about these things. The rocket hits the moon and the moon says, get out of here, rocket, go back to Earth. And then the rocket comes down in the bear market, and when the rocket finally lands, it gets rebuilt and takes off again. I'd like to thank Tales from the Man Cave for putting this incredible video together. Look at this, the rocket coming up to the moon. Rocket, rocket hits the moon, moon says, get out of here, rocket. And rocket comes back to Earth and then forms its low and then off again. Thank you, Tales from the Man Cave. You're so creative. Looking back to the previous bull market, we're in this retracement zone. I always mention that this retracement zone was a very big potential. Last cycle, we came up around 60% and then came down about 19%. What followed was a movement up of 87%. This reduction happened in about 6 days from the last cycle. We would expect repair of our current cycle sometime soon to be followed by an increase in prices. You can see the blue line here. This is a realignment of a past cycle based on on-chain metrics. We can see that the coming month is expected to be upward price pressure. We've seen this sell-off, but however, crypto is exponential by nature. We know that in the past cycle we had a similar sell-off at a similar time. This is nothing more than natural price action, although it is quite severe. But just think about it like this. We came up 80.76%. We came down at the max 18.63%. There may be a little bit more downward price action, potentially in a wick, followed by an increase in momentum. We always just let price reveal itself to us. We don't hold any particular, oh, it's going to go up or it's going to go down. We're just interested in being on the right side of the trade. What's happening at the moment, the bullish momentum and structure is in the market. It hasn't disappeared, although many people might think that it has. If they do and they go short, those shorts could get liquidated. Shorts, when liquidated, are forced to buy at market, pushing the price higher and higher. That is what may actually happen to push the prices up. Let's have a look at Ethereum's price action. On the daily basis, Ethereum actually rallied from the low up 141.48%. It did a retracement of 27.59%. It's just seeking to consolidate. It's consolidating above the 50-day moving average. Ethereum is very strong. We can note that the relative strength is under resistance. It's not powering back up. We can expect some degree of consolidation, even a minor capitulation to pull the shorts into the market would be more than fair. A lot of shorts were pulled into the market down here when people were talking about Bitcoin going to 10,000. We saw the incredible increase of price, nearly 142% from that point. This is crypto. Please, if you're shorting, be careful. Looking more closely at Ethereum's technical analysis, we can see ETH currently trading at 32.51. It's been rejected by this resistance level. There's also a degree of overhead resistance at the moment. When I look at this, what I see is the potential for Ethereum to come down and retest this low, potentially, maybe through some sort of long wick. But we need to check things out. It is the weekend, and weekend trade is always really up and down. It's very uncommitted. We can see support below 32.22, 31.30, 3087. I believe 2988 is quite key, and 2908. When Ethereum makes it above 3394 up to this level, that's really good. And when it gets to 3447, that's even better. That will show technical repair in action. Let's have a look at the crypto main market. This is weekly analysis of the top 8. We can see on a logarithmic chart, that's really important to note, we can see that there's a lot of support coming in at the 39,031 level for Bitcoin. If it was to fall to that level, it's still obeying the structure. Ethereum has a lot of structural support at the 2883 mark. Cardano, doing quite well, came down and bounced from that support line and bounced hard and high. Very nice work. We can see a lot of support at the 2289 level. With Binance Coin, there's a lot of support at the 39360 level. XRP, a lot of support at the 80-cent mark. Looking at Doge is currently trading at 23.95. That's pretty much at its support level. DOT has been doing really well. It had a long tail rejection there, which basically meant I'm not going lower, forget it, I'm going up. We have a lot of support at the 2409 level. Solana, a lot of support at the 130.11 level. Let's have a look at the community requests. Rule 444. Ignore tips, advice, and marketing. It's really important that you come to your own conclusions as to what you want to buy. The community picks for today are EGLD, Elron. We can see Elron has a good structure up here. And note for your pattern recognition, what do you think is the strongest particular crypto and why? We can see EGLD came up, had a degree of support that turned to resistance, and now it's forming another support, and that is it was turning into resistance, but price is slightly above. Let's look at Kusama, KSM. We can see this upward support line. It's looking quite good. It hasn't been cut through in any way. Let's have a look at DOT. What's happening with DOT? We see this support line broke through, became resistance, negative air under DOT. What about Cardano? Cardano had this support line turn to resistance, negative air, and has been rejected. What about AVAX? AVAX, first support line. The second support line looking really good. A third support line creating positive air. You could even add another one in here. AVAX is looking very strong. Let's have a look at OMG. OMG had support, and then that became resistance. It found a low and it's rallying up here, but we can see it's below this first line, support line, which became resistance. Having a look at Harmony 1, we can see the initial support line coming up here was tested, broke, and then forged through, became resistance, and now we have a secondary support line here. HBAR, Hedra Hash Graph, we can see the first level of support was quite steep. It was broken, retraced, creating a secondary support here, and now coming up. Which of these particular ones do you think is the strongest pattern? Which is the one that you would like if you had a little bit of cash, or potentially you were interested after doing your own research, of course? Which pattern finds itself the most beneficial through your eyes? Is it, for example, a first initial support line? Is it these kind of supports, ever increasing power supports? Is it whatever it is? It really doesn't matter. What matters is what you feel about it, and you can look at the technical. For example, if you were in OMG, you might say, well, this is good pattern, I can just dollar cost average in when it falls. There are so many strategies that you can apply. If you're a momentum trader, you would probably go after something like AVAX because it's increasing. If you look at playing your position for a while, KSM could have some value and benefit, as could Harmony 1, but KSM is a little bit stronger than Harmony 1, isn't it? Because it hasn't broke through that first support. It's holding its support currently. Okay, let me know in the comments. I'd really love to hear what you think. In episode 237, we looked at Veracity, Multivac, XDC VeChain, THETA, Icon, Phantom, and MATIC. And there was a question, what do you think could be the strongest? What do you think you would invest in? What I've done here, the last analysis was on a daily basis. I've changed to a 2-hour basis, starting everything at the start of September, so we can drill in here and gain a better appreciation of what price is doing right now. Now, zooming in is always a really, really good technique, as is looking at a particular crypto over varying time frames. The daily, the 3-day, the weekly, the 8-hour, 4-hour, 2-hour, all of those things are really, really good. Now let's have a look at Veracity, VRA. What do we see here? We can see that there's a level of resistance that VRA needs to get on top of. It's just still under that resistance. This is all part of the pattern recognition skill. We can look at MATIC. MATIC is still under resistance. It's got a little bit of weakness here, but that is understandable. There was such a strong sell-off in the market. Let's have a look at MTV, Multivac. We can see that resistance. It's overcome this resistance, and that has become support. Now it's got a secondary level of resistance. When it gets above that, let's see what happens. But that's the key, getting above a resistance. Phantom, FTM. We can see Phantom has really, really good support. It's just wobbled around a little bit. It's underneath that support. It's now resistance, but it's done that before. We're seeking to get price above this really important resistance level for it to resume back up. The concept is, if price is below a support level, therefore it's under resistance. If a price is under resistance, it needs a degree of momentum to get back on top and turn it into support. That's why we look at things crossing over resistance lines and trading above. If we look at XDC, XDC has this downward support line at the moment. We're really seeking for XDC to get above this resistance. You would draw it in with your eye. Icon has done really well. Look at this incredible sell-off and then the incredible pump. There's a lot of power in ICX. It's just currently below resistance from a downward basis. If you were to draw a trend line in here with your eye down there, and it's also below resistance here, but it's trying to get above there for sure. VeChain, we can see VeChain has a degree of support here, and we need VeChain to get above this tight level of resistance just there. THETA is being supported by this price action. I've just drawn in a couple of lines for you to help with that visualization. We can see THETA is under resistance here. When it passes above the $6.70 mark, that's good. That's a starting of a repair. I've just drawn the line in here for VET as well. This is a very tight line. I could have gone up to the tips and what have you, but after doing literally hundreds of thousands of trades, I have found it's good to go with the bulk of the price action to get a more rapid signal that can really help. When we look at Icon, this is the line we're looking at. We can see Icon has a lot of internal power. Please let me know in the comments how you would like me to analyze the coins. Whatever I can do to be of service and benefit, I'm really happy to do. Just let me know. In this episode, we talked about Rule 969. Be kind and loving towards yourself. You really deserve it. Everybody deserves love and kindness. When you give it to yourself, that's a real gift. As a society, we're always taught to be critical of our own actions, and whilst it's really important to learn and improve, being critical can destroy self-esteem and self-worth. Being loving and kind to yourself is really important. If you find yourself beating yourself up about mistakes, critical about the things you do, try to be loving and kind and have compassion towards what you're going through. You really deserve it. You're a completely unique human being. You're here for a purpose and a reason. Being kind and loving to yourself will allow you to put down conflict and all sorts of things that are just getting in the road of your purpose, and to live a much happier life. I hope you found the content useful. Please consider sharing and liking this video if you think it will help others. Thank you to our moderators for keeping our community safe from scammers. Please say hi and let me know if you have any questions. If you would like daily updates on price movements in the crypto market, please subscribe to YouTube and don't forget to hit the bell notification icon as content comes out at various times throughout the day and night. Please remember, crypto is volatile. Always prepare yourself for the best and worst case scenarios. Reality will likely be between them. Stay safe out there. Take care and see you next time. Bye for now.